I'm just gonna fucking say it. Women don't deal with the hero's arc. And what I mean by this, they don't go through the hero's journey. This is why if you look at Marvel movies, right, that are like female-centric, or they try to go ahead and change the Marvel character to a female, it does bad. Why? Because the feminine experience is not indicative of the masculine journey, where you're going in and you're training, and Rocky, get your ass whooped, sacrifice, train, punching a fucking meat thing in a fucking
Pause.
Punching a carcass in I'll say carcass, punching a carcass in a fucking Philly free shop somewhere in the 1970s. Like a lot of the time, women don't they don't go through that. So with that said, podcasts a lot of the times are not interesting when it's female run, just being honest with you. I can't even think. The only female-led podcast I can think of that's even charted is Call Her Daddy. But what do? They just talk about sex the whole time.
They broke up, by the way.
And they're not even still going. So
shout out 2 Girls, 1 Blunt.
That shit trash, bro. Come on, man. That shit is trash, man.
I would
you guys say something?
Yeah, I mean, you're saying that women don't go through anything heroic. What about giving birth?
I mean, that's
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that is not... Okay, so
that's
the hero's journey.
That's how low the standard is. That's how low the standard is. That she's referencing something that almost all women.
Go ahead, touch on that.
That almost all women do. Like, that's amazing. And in fact, it's a natural process.
That's
you don't
painful.
even have to earn the ability to do it. It literally is inevitable. All you have to do is not use a condom.
The one talking about that she can't fuck off because she's not thick. You're the one here talking about society and about all this bullshit. I mean, you made her get up to show if she was thick or not to make sure she could pay attention or not.
No, because I'm giving her meaningful advice.
No, how is that meaningful advice?
You really need to.
How is that? Why? Because she doesn't have an ass, so she has to pay attention.
Turning
Like
up
what?
here. I see.
No,
Jeez. Angry one over here.
Because you're pissing me off.
Why are you so mad?
No, because you guys aren't preaching what you guys are fucking like. You guys
Why are you
are like,
cursing?
no.
You could just explain calmly. I'll listen to you.
Please.
Okay, so let me just understand your viewpoint. So what is your what is your contention? It's precisely. Are you saying that women go through the hero's journey because they birth children?
Yes.
Is that your stance? Okay.
I mean, and not just that, but there's a lot
What
of
about
things that women do
Olympic
that
women
men can do
athletes?
as well. What, you don't think women can go
That's an
into fights
example.
and fight like Rocky?
But what percentage of women are actually doing that?
Not as many, probably.
But there's some women doing it.
There's a ton of women athletes too.
Yeah, sure, but that's a
whatever happened to
minority.
reality?
That's like a very small minority. To become an Olympic athlete is extremely difficult, right? It's
for
it's
men
not
and
easy.
women.
For
It's
both,
not just for women.
For sure, but let's be very, very blunt here and honest. Men compete on the hardest and biggest arena, where it's
Which
literally the top of the gene pool, top of the genetics, best of the best, etc. There's a reason why people watch the NBA and they don't watch the WNBA. There's a reason why people watch the NFL and there's no female NFL equivalent. I mean, I'm sorry to say, but human beings, when we're going to sit here and watch a competition, we want to see the best of humanity, and that is. Now, with that said, back to what you were saying
It's
before.
just an opinion.
I mean, I think
She's
that's objective
mad
fact.
over here.
The WNBA has been non-profitable since its inception.
But isn't it also because
isn't it just now getting profitable? I think
No,
it's
it's
really
not
it's like a
profitable.
hype thing
No,
that makes
it's
it.
had a spike, but it wasn't even enough to even hit the charts.
Yeah, they operate at a deficit every single year, and they're subsidized by the NBA.
By men.
They lose money
By
to
men.
operate, and it's subsidized by men.
Taken care of. Daddy
Yes.
takes care of them.
But isn't like the reason why women's sports aren't viewed as much because
They're not
men
good.
only fund men businesses and men's sports?
No, that was
I mean,
crazy.
that makes no, that's actually
But that makes no
That was
sense.
insane.
Actually, so you
No.
know what's funny? That is not true at all, and I'll tell you this because as a former Division I athlete, I'll tell you this. There's something called Title IX or Title 12. I forget the exact title, but basically it goes this way. Whatever amount of funding you go for sports, and you can back me up on this because you went to D1 school as well. Whatever amount of sports funding goes to the male side has to go to the female side. So if you look at any big college football team, what do they always have? They have a big female crew team. Why? Because it eats up a bunch of money. They get the best gear, etc. So that's not true. Women sports are actually funded equally in colleges. And a
In
lot
colleges.
of the time, in colleges.
Yeah,
now
but
we're
not-
going to go professional.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, okay.
We're talking about
now,
NBA.
here's the thing, though. When you go professionally, guess what? It becomes a business, and it becomes about being
Right.
profitable. So
But
the
also
reality
the
is that
men's
female
business-
sports are not profitable.
But the men's business have been going on for longer because of the opportunity that men's had first to
Okay,
be
let's
able
have fun with this.
handle
Wait a
the
minute.
truth.
Hold on, let's have fun with this. How many of you have been to a WNBA game?
Raise your hand.
Oh, okay. How many of you have been to an NBA game? Okay. So you fund the very problem you're complaining about.
No, I'm not complaining about it.
It's not
I'm
a
just
problem.
saying,
It's,
like,
it's a choice. It doesn't mean that women aren't doing it. I'm
How
not
come guys
saying
and OnlyFans don't make as much money that we do?
But there's still men
Can
doing
we go
it.
back to
There's
the
still
basics?
women
But
doing
we're
it.
not
Just
complaining
because
about it,
people
though.
aren't
Exactly, but
watching
that's
it
what I'm
doesn't
trying
mean
to
that
say.
they're
Yeah,
not
you're trying to tell her.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I'm like, you can't compare the two. They're two different things.
So in
Yeah,
business,
yeah,
right?
that's what I was
It's not
gonna
about
say.
feeling. It's about money.
Yeah.
Who's making the most money? So by default, if we have two teams here, one men, one women, and they don't make money as a result, who's at fault here?
Okay, I totally understand that, but I also feel like men want to fund men's things, and like, isn't society built that like men are the ones that are supposed to make
you
the
said
money?
You feel like, but in reality, business is money. So
Yeah,
regardless
yeah.
of how you feel, it is money.
And actually, you prefer to fund men's sports by your own
NBA game.
admission.
Yeah.
You go
Ticket
to an
sales.
NBA game, but you will not go to a WNBA game. So, and I guarantee you, if I asked the majority of women, have you been to a professional female sporting event? Most would probably say no. But if I asked if you've been to a professional male sporting event, they would say yes. So if women really loved women's sports as much as they say, and they were so strong feminists, they would never go to a guy's sports game, and they would just go to the women's one. But why do they not? Because human beings want to watch the best of the best. That's what it is. Now, with your argument is, well, women have